Heyo, Eli here. Back for a horror DVD collection video. The coffee's way too fucking hot to drink. God damn it. The fuck did that happen? And by the way, we're listening to. God damn. I always want to call this band a Dramalek, but it is a Dramalek. All right, never mind. I guess I was confusing them with the Finnish death metal Dramalek. These guys are also called Dramalek. They are a black metal band out of Mexico. Kind of an unknown gem, if you ask me. The album is called Destroyers of Cosmic Order. I have these in my distro. This came out on Crocomort Productions. They did a fantastic job on, as they usually do actually, on the J card. It's a nice thick cardboardy thing. Inside, I mean, it's really nice. Yeah. So Mexican black metal. They don't have a large discography. I cannot remember if they're still active or not, but it's really good. It's really good. Limited to 333 copies. And out of the stuff that I've like unearthed out of my distro that I've never heard before, and this is kind of one of my recent favorites. By the way, I know I don't talk about comic books a whole lot on this channel. I used to be a massive comic collector. I really don't. I still am a collector, but I don't buy as many. I don't buy nearly as many these days. But I still love them, and I was kind of pleased by this. I'm a massive Punisher fan, by the way, and a lot of the, if not all the Punisher comics that I've kind of glanced at in the last couple of years have really, they're just not the Punisher that they're just not Punisher to me. You know, they're more like in the mainstream Marvel universe, and it's fucking stupid. This is, you might, if you're a Punisher fan, if you're a comic fan, I might be fucking just talking to myself here, but if you remember the Punisher Max comics from like the, what was it, early 2000s, maybe late 90s, I can't even remember when that was, but written by Garth Ennis. Well, anyways, that has kind of made a return, I guess. So you get the Max comics, you might remember that. So we have this series, Punisher Soviet. And it's pretty fucking good, man. It's back. It's back to, you know, Garth Ennis Punisher, which is, you know, Punisher the way he's meant to be. You know, shit like that. And that's what Punisher's all about. So, yeah, I was pretty pleased to see this, and I'm definitely going to, I'm going to keep buying this series as long as they make it, hopefully. Yeah, it was a nice blast from the past. So, anyways, get on to the movies here. My horror movie collection's not nearly as big as like my CD collection, so we're already in the C's. So yeah, I mean, this is going to go a lot quicker than my music collection ever could. That I may never finish that. I you know, it depends on how long I do this channel for. Hopefully, I get to the end at some point, and especially at the rate I've been going, goddamn, it will take years. All right, so we're going to start with. So this old store that we used to have here in town was really awesome. They sold all kinds of different media and stuff like that. So as you can imagine, it was like a heaven for me. I would go in there and find all kinds of like retired rentals, basically, and I'd scoop them up really cheap, especially in the horror section. So I picked up this French movie, if I remember correctly. Fuck. I think French, but I mean, I'm not researching anything. I'm just, before I do any of these videos, I'm just going off my memory, which is not that great these days, but, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a French movie, Calvaire, in English, The Ordeal. Pretty cool movie, I thought. It was kind of a grower for me. Don't remember it super well. I remember it being about like a writer, I think, who breaks down in a, you know, kind of a backcountry town. Things go terribly, of course. So here they, you know, at the top of the box here, they compare it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, Deliverance. Sure, those are fair. Yeah, cool movie. Recommend it. Still has that rental sticker on it. I never take those off because I play a lot of movies in my my Xbox, and if I take these stickers off, sometimes it'll leave like a sticky residue, and then it'll get stuck in my Xbox. I guess I could clean off the stickiness, but that's too much work. Next, oh man, this movie's a doozy. Whew, holy shit. If if you've ever seen any of Marian Dora's movies, which I have only seen this one, haven't seen any others, but I guess he's just known for just making just really shocking, fucked up movies. But yeah, man, we got Cannibal from 2005, German movie, based, and not even loosely. I mean, this is based probably pretty accurately from what I've read off of a thing that happened in 2003 in Germany where, long story short, but two dudes basically found each other online. One of them had and you probably heard about this at one point, one of them had a fantasy of eating somebody. The other guy had a fantasy of being eaten. So, I mean, match made in heaven right there, right? So it was completely consensual and everything. They were both gay men. This movie is absolutely... some people say, like, oh, I don't really consider that a horror movie necessarily, but Jesus, how could you not, man? I mean, just because it's not like somebody being victimized doesn't mean it can't be completely fucked up. This is one of the most fucked up movies I've ever seen. I've only watched it once. In fact, this movie fetches a pretty good amount of money on online. I sent a copy of this to Pat, Ground Zero Salem. I don't know if you ever watched it, but yeah, I mean, I've seen people sell this for like $80. So hey, Pat, if you don't like it, you can get a good amount of money for it at least. But yeah, whew. I mean, I don't think I need to say anything more. It's fucked, and it's really realistic too. That's what makes it so fucked. I mean, this is the way it's done. It's so real. It's crazy. Next, we have a movie pretty much everybody knows, Cannibal Ferox. I love cannibal movies. I'm definitely addicted. This is a cool version that came out on Grindhouse Releasing with a sweet little quote, or not a quote by yeah, it's a quote. Joe Bob Briggs, remember him? 98 on the vomit meter. I don't know if I'd give it a 98, but I mean, it's pretty close. Uh-oh, boobies. I don't know if I can show that. Show it real quick. There we go. Cannibal Ferox, a.k.a. Make Them Die Slowly, right? Isn't that accurate? This was an Italian, one of the classic Italian cannibal movies. That shit was really popular back in the 70s and 80s. I try to collect all the ones I can find. I don't have a ton, but I have a nice handful. Yeah, I don't think it's as good. Nothing is good as Cannibal. Cannibal Holocaust is basically the gold standard. It's like the Exorcist of cannibal movies. But this is probably, I think a lot of people would say this is like number 2. This is like Cannibal Holocaust's, little brother or something like that. But essential, right? Speaking of Cannibal Holocaust, I do have that. My copy's a little beat up. I guess I could replace it, but I do have the Grindhouse Releasing Deluxe Edition. It's a pretty nice version. Technically, it's just my I don't know. I bought this used years ago, and it came this way. So the cover's a little wrinkly and maybe some water damage, but it's a nice. It's not the nicest version I've ever seen, but it's pretty nice. I think this actually. Maybe I do need to replace it, because I think this version came with like a cool booklet or something, and this one doesn't have it, so... Yeah, man. It's got 2 discs, and I'm probably not supposed to show this either, but I mean, how can you not? I mean, if you haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, this might either make you want to see it or not ever see it, but, well, the spine's in the way, but you get it. This movie is basically stuff of legend. I mean, the practical effects in this movie are crazy. I mean, there's actual, scenes of actual animals getting slaughtered, which I certainly don't approve of. Yeah, it's shocking, but I mean, that shit should never be done. But it happened, and it was kind of funny, upon release of this, the cast, or maybe not the cast, but the people that were responsible for this movie were actually summoned to court because some people thought it was a snuff film. But I mean, I can't really blame them for thinking that. Yeah, it's, like I said, this is the gold standard for all cannibal movies. Probably not surpassed to this day. It's classic. It's absolutely fucked up. Essential. All right. moving on to, oh shit, I mean, we all know this one. Another classic that I really didn't get into until like last year. I think I bought this. So we got Carrie with one of those cool alternate covers, I guess you could call it. I could peel it off. It's taped on, or it's glued on or whatever, but they're made so you can easily peel them off and you'll see the regular cover. But I don't know. I just left it on there, I guess. 1976, it's based on a Stephen King book, directed by Brian De Palma. Sissy Spacek did a great job in this. I like this movie. Maybe I need to watch it more because I've only seen it once. I like this movie. I don't know if I love it. Maybe I had to. Had I seen it in the 70s or something, it probably would have, have more of an impact on me. Still, I like it. There's some good shit in here. It's a good movie. There's no denying the impact of the final scene, the fucking bloodbath scene. I mean, that is stuff of legend as well. And it, honestly, even if you don't like anything that leads up to that, it's worth watching just for the end. I'd say skip to the end, but that's stupid. That's no way to do justice to a movie. But man, that ending scene is just, it's amazing. Still hot, goddamn. All right, and here's another movie I bought from that same store I was talking about. Retired rental. So the disc looks all right. This movie is called Carver. I watched parts of it one time, but I never did finish it. It's okay from what I remember. It's very low budget and cheap. So we got Carver, the Grizzly Edition. It's an American movie. It's just like a slasher, like a very, very generic slasher. It came out in 2007. I doubt I know anyone that has anything to do with this movie. Actors or directors or producers or whatever. But, I mean, it's, gory B-movie fun, I guess you could call it. Next, we probably showed this in a semi-recent collection update, but this kind of cool, one of the Scream Factory double features with Catacomb and Cellar Dweller. I definitely enjoyed both. They were both good fun. I wonder which one I'd pick. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Cellar Dweller. I thought was probably a little more fun, but Catacomb's good as well. I don't know a whole lot about either movie. They were honestly both new to me when I picked this up. But they were good fun. Cellar Dweller is like about this. It's about this girl, this like aspiring comic book artist who. I don't really want to go into all that detail. I'm already at 13 minutes and kind of tired. So, but anyways, I definitely recommend both of these movies. Check them out, whether you find them together or separate. Here's another kind of all-time American, B classic. Chud. Chud is awesome. Daniel Stern is in it. John Hurd. Yeah. Stands for Cannibal Humanoid Underground Dwellers. Basically about mutants that, I think it's in New York City or whatever, mutants that live underground in the sewers, eating people. Came out when? 84. So old American B-movie classic. A lot of fun. Next, I also showed this in a semi-recent update video. We got the original Child's Play with another one of those alternate covers. I'd seen Child's Play as a kid. I don't even think I saw all of it. I think I only saw parts of it, but just thought it'd be something cool to revisit. Apparently, it's Chucky's 20th birthday edition. That's kind of cool. I don't know what makes that so special, but what can I say about Child's Play, man? Certainly not an expert on that one. And last but certainly not least, not really a horror movie, but as you know, I sometimes like to throw in some weird movies in my horror sci-fi collection, and I decided that this one kind of made the cut. Chopper with Eric Bana. I love this movie, to be honest. It's Eric Bana playing a what would you call this? Not a documentary, but based on a true story about a guy named Mark Chopper Reed. Lived in Australia. He was a kind of a small-time criminal. Known a lot for being crazy and being kind of a compulsive liar. Like he would claim to commit murders that he couldn't possibly have done. Like he just liked to tell stories, and he did commit murders. He was kind of like a low-level thug. He did a lot of jail time. He was in and out of jail a lot of his life. He ended up writing a best-selling documentary about his life. I think he's still alive. But anyways, if you watch watch some footage, there's interview footage with him online and stuff, and watch that, and then go watch this movie. And I mean, Eric Bana nails the part. In fact, I've heard that this is the movie that was like his breakthrough movie. Like it was this movie that got him noticed in the U.S. After this, he went and did Black Hawk Down, that war movie or whatever. So it was basically, this was kind of his gateway to like real success. I don't want to say real success, but you know what I mean, to broader mainstream success. So this came out in 2000, but very, very highly recommended. If you watch any of the movies I just showed you, watch this one. So anyways, that's all I got. Talk to me about these movies. Talk to me about Punisher Max comics if you want. Have you ever heard a drama lack out of Mexico? If you like what you hear, you can grab a copy from me super fucking cheap. I'll send it to you. That's all I got. So anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. Cheers.